3,000 subscribers. That's 1,000 more subscribers. I've got a plastic axe and a chappy, a sword too, and an axe and a sword too. Look, I'm gonna chop you. 3,000 subscribers is 1,000 more subscribers than last time I counted the number of subscribers that I have. At so many stinking subscribers. And now I've got to take human farm. Beard begun. Greetings, programs, and welcome back to Drunken's and Dragons. It's your old buddy Hankerin here with another episode. How to play D&D like a big old badass. Well, I tell you what, we must be doing something right because we got 3,000 freaking subscribers. Yoo-hoo! So here's to all 3,000 of 20-some of you, you bunch of crazy-faced, cross-eyed, two index finger having. No, we've already done that whole drill. This time I'm just going to say we got 3,020-some awesome people who are looking to update tabletop. So raise a glass with me out there if you're of drinking age, of course. 3,000 subscribers. Hankerin, what have you done making this ridiculous D&D channel of yours? Well, I'll tell you what I've done. I've gotten myself into a big old mess. That's what I've done. You can take a look at, you know, at one point I just had the simplest little, if you guys go back to breaking into the craft game, I had one little piece of styrofoam with some sponge paint on it and I was like good to go. Now, this. What is this, you ask? Well, this is the physical embodiment of the results of the Drunken's and Dragon Channel experience, which is, the audience has grown way bigger than I ever thought it was. I thought it would be like 500 people and I'd be like, screw this, I'm out of here. Instead, it has become a lifestyle, and keeping up with all the comments and all the side discussions is so fun. But that really isn't the theme of the show tonight. The theme of the show tonight is the incredible influence and back and forth relationship that has evolved between me and all of you guys. Last week, I think it was last week, I don't know what's happening anymore. I put up a video about like if you're gonna go 2D, you know, go all out, right? So I got myself a ton of these Pathfinder 2D pawn boxes. And then I had one of these old D&D tile set boxes laying around on my bookshelf, and I was like, you know what? I should try those. And so I got my felt box out, and I was like, hey, actually, this is pretty dope. I ought to do a video here. You know, maybe some people feel alienated by my channel because they don't do 3D and they're not sculptors and stuff like that, and maybe I need to correct my ways. So I did the 2D video, and right away I got a tremendous response. Some in the comments on the video, and then several private messages actually that were like, Hankerin, you're out your dwarven mind. You know, like a lot of people had come to be really excited about all the 3D stuff that I do on the channel and how it enhances the game, and hell yeah, it enhances the game. I was never backing out of all that. I just wanted to show that 2D can be really awesome too. And I had a hidden agenda, which was to save a bunch of time and effort, because DMing for a group of 5 people and then DMing for a group of 3,000 people and doing all the crafting and all the writing involved and some secret projects which have yet to be revealed, so I was like, hey, maybe I can get away with just using a bunch of prefabricated 2D stuff, right? I mean, that's a reasonable thought. I was like, you know, those folks are right. But at the same time, I need the heightened capability that this sort of modular grid system gives you for setting up rooms, for revealing spaces as the players explore, for having a more controlled look to your terrain. Instead of just this big chunk, you guys know that big playboard that I use. It's really cool, but it's not cool if that's what you use every time. And you can't really do corridors, and you can't do surprise. So eventually I had to face the inevitable conclusion, which gave rise to this crazy mess you see right here. And this is only the beginning, man. There's a lot more. I decided to make a fully 3D sculpted modular floor system. So what does that mean? Well, there's some craft video, which may or may not be edited into this video because I'm not really the planning type. So you might see how I'm doing this. You may not. It may be in a separate video. But basically, I milled with my new scroll saw, which is an awesome DM tool, by the way. Anyways, I milled a bunch of these 1x1 columns out of styrene, right? Then I took my steak knife and just sushi sliced them into approximately 300 of these little 3D tiles, right? Here's one right here, just like that. Now to make an equivalent tile set equal to the Dungeon Master box set, I need 800 tiles. I counted these, so I'm gonna need to do another round, but frankly, it got a little mind-blowing. So then, once I have them cut, I went in on each tile individually and by hand sculpted in a little bit of edge detail and cleanup on every tile. So after a while, I had a nice set of those, and then I used, well, here's a good example. I used the tile set, the paper tile set, the cardboard tile set, as a guide to glue together, and this isn't attached, to glue together the 3D sculpted tiles into these tile pieces. Now, the reason I went to all this trouble is A, precision, but also feel and look. You're just not going to get this much awesome dimensionality out of a flat piece with slices cut in it, like in my early tutorial. So, at this stage in the game, I just wanted to take a breather, say thank you to everybody for getting me to 3K subs, because this is crazy. And then also just sit down here and start to get some of this sponge paint done on these tiles. So there is a lot more to this system than meets the eye too, which is we are going to use popsicle sticks on the bottom of this system so that you can flip any given tile component over and have a wooden version of the same tile size floor. So I'm going to use some dark wood stain on my popsicle sticks so that I get actual wood grain instead of painted wood, and I really think it's going to be awesome. So I'm just mixing up some dark gray right now. And I basically use the same sponge painting technique that DM Scotty uses. I do it a little differently in that I kind of tone upward in a different fashion than he does, but we really are doing pretty much the same routine. You put down your dim colors first, and then as you work upward, you do less and less paint with brighter and brighter colors so that you get those highlights to pop, as DM Scotty would say. So here's my initial gray, pretty dark, but bright enough to show up. There we go. Groovy. Okay. Yeah, so just sitting here sponge painting, I just wanted you to see what these would be like as I worked on them. So this is a 2x4 piece of these cool little sculptural tiles, and I think they are about to come to life before our very eyes. So just get some of this paint on your sponge there, and you guys know the drill, I'm sure you've done this. Get all the excess off, you only need a little bit, and start your painting. I tell you what, it is a surreal and exciting experience to be able to communicate with 3,000 people simultaneously. It's quite a rush, honestly. I'm trying to figure out, and maybe you You guys have been awesome, by the way, posting on the comments of, you know, whatever the topic of the day is. There's the first layer of paint. So the question that I have for you today is something that's been on my mind. Do you guys think there's a way that I could sort of DM for the audience? So obviously there wouldn't be a player component to it. I'm not asking for 3,000 players in some kind of insane mega campaign. But is there a way that I could meaningfully build out a campaign and week by week reveal different components of adventures and encounters that everyone out there playing and watching the channel could use? So I wouldn't be doing room design like documenting rooms from my campaign I'm running with my group. It's more that we would build a sort of a massively multiplayer, one-directional D&D campaign. It's definitely something I've never seen done, but I just can't help the feeling that it's kind of like dungeon mastering for 3,000 people all at the same time. It's a freaking great feeling. As someone who's been dungeon mastering all your life, it's awesome. So, just painting along here. I'm sure I'll get a better camera angle here so you can really see the details in just a second when we do the second color. So we need to let that dry just a little bit, and in the meantime, here's to you, first 1,000 subscribers. That was a little while ago. That was in spring. So at this rate, I should have a sustainable income in about 30 years. Here's to you. I called to my ancestors and my viewers. Ooh. Tastes like a two-step dive bar in a highway roadhouse with a monkey bartender and a chickens in the bathroom. Hey! Welcome to the next video where you're closer. A little bit closer to the action so you can see the 3D floor tiles here coming together with their first. Oh my god, it's too close. My face is still in focus. That's the first color of paint you want to do. So if you're kind of following along and figuring out this sponge paint mystery, see that big old blorch down there? That's about the color you want. So it's maybe a 20% gray, meaning 80% black, 20% white, gray. It's basically a gray color. So that's your first step. Once this first layer dries, like this one's about dry, and it'll dry really quick when you're sponge painting. There's barely any paint coming off that sponge, so it'll dry super fast. Oh, and here's a little reference of like how our fit's gonna work. So isn't that cool, man? It's gonna be great. People who make tiny things are weird. So we're gonna mix another color, and you're gonna go twice as bright or so as you did the first color. Real simple. Make sure you get your edges. If anything, you want the most paint to land on corners and edges because they're natural highlights. Okay, we are literally sitting here watching paint dry. So while we do that, why don't we get a little hooch in it? 1,000 subscribers, which that must have been in midsummer or so, right when Ren Fair was popping and we were just escaping the Underdark and all that, and I was getting ready to get the old open world going with my group, and crazy times and a crazy life. So here's to that second 1,000 of you. And remember, the comment topic for this video, please post down below after you give it that thumbs up, and tip me $3,000 in American currency and mail me a care package including liquor, food, beef jerky, pemmican, and shoes. After you do all that, get down in that comment section and let's think about a way that someone on YouTube, maybe like Hankerin here, could effectively DM for an entire group of players and DMs out there. So it'd be kind of like we're gonna build a campaign together and we're gonna do it the real way, which is one adventure at a time and see how it morphs over time. Now you'd probably, if you were using this as a DM resource, you wouldn't want your players checking it out because there'll be total spoilers. So that's a bummer. I'm gonna lose viewers there. But I think you see what I'm getting at, is that I've always thought that source books have a lot of limited value to them because it's hard to just sit down and look at, like, say, the Dark Sun source book, which is totally awesome, by the way, and just make a campaign out of it. Just like sit down on the spot, notebook, bang, I just wrote a campaign and the players are gonna follow these paths. It doesn't really work out that way. So the source books don't give you what we have in the modern age, which is a source of creative output that you can benefit from, that you get to interactively work with to tailor fit the content to what you need. And that creative output source adapts to the changes that are inherent in the reaction to player choice, which is always very unpredictable. Here's to your second thousand. It's a strange liquor, the Fireball, but you know. Now use the power of time travel. Oh wait, no I won't. Here's to the third 1,000 subscribers. That's you, recent 1,020 some. Thanks for showing up. It's good to have you here on Drunken and Dragons. I hope you're having a good time so far. Lots of good times ahead. And I'm just gonna see where this crazy adventure takes me. You know, and if I felt bad about it, I would apologize that the channel is so unpredictable, but actually, to me, that is the spice of life. If I just do everything I say I'm gonna do, this becomes a job, and that will be the end of Drunkens and Dragons, I guarantee you. So, third 1,000, here's to you guys. Nice to have you. Strength, honor, and Fireball. Skola! Editing time travel right now to let my paint dry. While we let that dry, we're gonna do some of the wood involved in the project. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, okay. Here. You know, organization has never been one of my strengths. I live in a constant state of pure chaos. And that's how I like it. Some of the popsicle sticks that I have milled to fit the lengths of the tile pieces. So to prepare them, we are going to stain them. That's right, and it's gonna be cool and probably a horrific mess. So what better way to take care of a horrific mess than kind of just do it in front of you on a paper towel. All right. How do I? Good grief. Oh yeah, it's such a satisfying sound when you open a can of fresh polyurethane. By the way, you should totally do this in a ventilated environment, such as a small room with no windows, to get the maximum effect. Take a stick you don't want. Make sure you mix this stuff because all the good stuff goes to the bottom. So there we go. And that's sort of the color we're going to be working on. It's a nice dark color that really makes grain pop. Now usually too I'll wear a rubber glove when I'm doing this to protect the old hands from stain. But this is such a small project. You can get away with a lot of work without really diving in with your hands. It's not like staining a table or something. So here's your piece. I don't know if you can see it, but here, I'll hold it up in just a second. Get your stain on, baby. So the fireball shots are really coming home to roost. And now we've got our cool little pieces of wood all ready to go. And they have great variety too. You can see they each take the tone a little differently. So you get some brighter ones and some darker ones. Man, it's just great. The next color of paint. So I'm not sure you can see the drying board at the moment. But there you can see the one with the third color of paint on it and how it has a lot more highlight to it. So I don't know if I mixed enough of this color because I am a bonehead and I'm new at this. I'm down here. Paint is good to go on the first little sampling of the floor tile set. Here's all the tiles I'm going to be making in the future. Like these big guys. And make a whole heaping, hankering, helping of these things. And but for right now, the paint is all done. Got little flecks of silver and gold in with the stone, so it will match all the other stuff that I've done. The final step is to take these pieces of wood and to glue them onto the bottom sides of the tile set so that you have a flippable stone wood reversible system. So I won't film a ton of it, but we'll take this guy right here. So there's a little 2x2 piece. Flip him over. He's still dark on the bottom. And everything needs to be crisscrossed to get this kind of sort of crate look that I wanted. So just go like this. Get your glue gun. 1, 2. 1, 2. This also is gonna let the tiles sort of float nicely above the surface they're sitting on because they'll have these plank bottoms. Okay, so there's the first 2 planks, feeling pretty solid. So stone on that side, wood on this side, but I just don't think it's cool enough. It doesn't feel like 4 squares to me. And it also doesn't feel like a structure. It just feels like an equal sign. It doesn't quite look right. So we're going to do a crisscross like that. And that's going to give us our look. So get your glue gun out. Go 1, 2, 3, and 4 globs. Get your pieces. And they go right just like that. And remember, you don't need much glue when it comes to the whole hot glue gun. So you don't want it squeezing out all over the place. So if you're conservative with how much you use, you'll never even see that you used glue. And there you have it. So on one side, you have your stone tiles, which will match all the other styrofoam sculptures you guys have seen me do. And then flip it over and you've got wood. This is handheld, barely in focus, too many shots of fireball. Hankerin Furnail signing off for right now, you guys. Strength, honor, and insanely overambitious crafting projects in response to viewer feedback as a result of a store-bought purchase in hopes of saving time as a dungeon master. I'm out! Thanks for subscribing, everybody. 3K, this is totally awesome. We're just getting started, baby, so stay tuned. And next time around, we'll get one of those room design episodes going and get back in the monkey hole. So, peace! Ha ha!
The horror! I see my own face. But trapped in a tiny rectangle of black plastic.